feeling really good about this month because I do get a corporate bonus. Bonus season is always exciting and I would always gift myself a fun little handbag. Last year, I used the money to actually buy myself a Cartier watch. I was honestly in just a very different mind space, and now I'm excited to be spending that money on myself, my office, my business, and just continuing to grow it. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are doing our April financial reset. This is your first video of mine. Hi and welcome. My name is Raisa. I talk all things personal finances. So if you like this type of video, then make sure you're subscribed down below. It feels like it's been a really long time since I filmed one of these videos, but it's only been a month. I feel that way because obviously there has been a lot of changes in my life, specifically with the move to this office that, I don't know, just felt like it's been a really long month, and we will definitely get into all of the expenses and all of that in this video. But I am ready to move into April because this month was very crazy, very hectic, and I'm just looking forward to the spring months when it is getting a little bit warmer, when it's a lot sunnier here in Vancouver. I feel like today is one of those days. It is so sunny and so bright, and it just makes me so happy. So yeah, I am really excited for April, but first let's look back into the month of March. I also want to say a huge shout out to xtiles for sponsoring this video. If you guys didn't know what xtiles is, it is essentially a collaborative platform where you can put all of your ideas and create well-structured plans within them. It is a way for you to organize your thoughts, create a weekly planner, do a to-do list, and even do your budgeting all in one app. And I cannot wait to show you inside of my xtiles. But before that, let's do a quick chat about the month of March. As I had already alluded to, the month of March was very crazy for me. If you are a subscriber of mine, you would know exactly what is going on. I'm still trying to figure everything out. As you can see, we are in a new space, in a new angle, and yeah, things are just shifting every single day. And I'm excited for the day when I feel fully settled into this space. But what I wanted to talk about in this portion of the video is the finances part of having an office space. Obviously, that is a very big change, and I did go very deep and really shared vulnerable thoughts about that in my latest video, which I will link over here. So I won't dive too deeply into that in this video, but I just wanted to let you guys know that probably most of my spending this month really wasn't anything to do with like personal spending or anything like that. It was really all about getting this office space up and running. And I'm pretty proud of where we are today. It is the end of March, and I'm in a place where I can pack and ship and fulfill orders from here, which is amazing. And most of my furniture is also set up. So you can see behind me, I've got a little fiddle leaf fig, and I've got a rug and a couch, and all of my inventory is in place. So I think a lot of work was done in March, and it was very exhausting, very expensive, but also I feel really good about everything that I've brought into the space. I think it's all the must and not anything that is kind of extra. So yeah, I will do more small business owner vlogs. If you guys are into that, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I love doing those types of vlogs and showing you guys the behind the scenes of my business. This month was a bit chaotic, but we are almost at the end of it. Fingers crossed. Yeah, if you want to know more about the finances and kind of how I've been feeling, I was stressed out, I would say, and all of that is in that video that I referenced earlier. And just to keep everything separate, I won't be putting anything related to my office furniture and all of that in my budget tracker today, so you won't see that. The other thing that added to my, let's call it financial stress this month, was I had to book a few trips. I feel like booking those trips could have waited because I did want to go at the end of May, but because I had done all the research and the prices were pretty good in terms of accommodations and flights, I wanted to lock those in. So I did end up booking my Spain trip, which if you have watched my goals video, you would know that Spain is on my list of places to go this summer. And again, you won't see that in this budget tracker because I wanted to focus on my day-to-day spending. So I wanted to clear those things before we dove into my xtiles workspace. Okay, I've got my laptop down here, so if you see me looking down, that's why. But welcome to my xtiles app. I'm so excited to share this with you because I had so much fun organizing and personalizing this to my needs. So what I love about xtiles is that it is so easy to use and it is so intuitive. You can literally get started today. I picked it up and just went. I felt so creative. I was able to personalize everything and just put it exactly the way that I wanted it to be. And the best part is if you don't want to build it yourself, you can also use one of their pre-built templates. They have so many great ones. I really like their weekly and daily planners. And I saw that they also have social media calendars. So if you are maybe a content creator or a YouTuber, I think this would be a perfect solution for you if you're looking for a workspace where all of your ideas and all of your notes are all in one place and it is organized in the exact way that you would like it to be. There's so many great ways to customize your xtiles app. I did a bit of a color theme for myself, and obviously I also had to add my little header. This is the header that I have on my YouTube channel. So yeah, let's dive into my xtiles app. So at the very top, as you guys know, I love to see how much my income is for that specific month. I mentioned in my previous monthly money reset video that it is a 3 paycheck month, which was great. So I got paid 3 times this month, and then I also got a paycheck from YouTube. My total income for this month was $8,108.32. As I was building this, I was able to check off when each of the paychecks came through, which is amazing. So I know what has been paid and what hasn't been paid. And then I added a little note section here. So if there's anything that I want to just call out for myself as a reminder, I can also put that in the note section here. Before we get into savings and investments, I do want to highlight this section here, which is just a bit of a brain dump section or like a note section. So throughout the month, there's things that come up. So I did anticipate furnishing my office, so I did set myself a $5,000 budget for that. I also anticipated Spain. I knew it was coming. I just wasn't sure when I was going to book those flights. It ended up being in March, so I did have a budget of $5,000 for that. And then the last thing I wanted to keep in mind this month was my Calgary travel budget, which isn't going to be that much because my parents are paying for the accommodations and I just needed to pay for the flights there and back, which is around $300. I love that as the month goes on and things come up, you can just add things into this note section. I feel like that's how I operate. There's things where I forget or I remember halfway through the month, and it's great to just be able to add it into this section over here. Okay, getting back into the budget. So for my savings, because it is a 3 paycheck month, I did allocate $300, so $100 bi-weekly into my emergency fund. The next section is my investments. So I did allocate $900, so $300 bi-weekly into my Wealthsimple TFSA. The next section is my expenses. So my expenses were pretty good this month. I feel like we stuck to budget, which is great. In my personal fixed expenses, these are just things that come out every single month. They are like your operating costs to just live every month. So think of your rent or your mortgage. So for myself, I had 3 mortgage payments this month. I also have my subscriptions, so my Spotify, my internet, my Apple TV, all of that. I also have car insurance and my home insurance, my maintenance fee. I have a storage unit that I rent. So all of that totaled up to $3,449.75. I should also mention, if you're new to this channel, I do split my mortgage with my partner, so we pay $813 each every 2 weeks. I wanted to call out that I ended up calling my internet provider. A friend of mine had inspired me. We were having a chat about just how expensive it is to live in general. I feel like cost of living has just gotten so much higher now, and it's not just in Vancouver, it's everywhere else. He was talking to me about a conversation that he had with his internet provider and that they were able to lower his monthly bill. And I wanted to ask if there were any promotions that they had going on, and they did. Right now I split my internet bill with my partner, and I think we pay around like $80. I was able to cut our internet bill $30 just by calling them, and they gave us a faster speed. Okay, let's move on to small business fixed bills or small business operating expenses. This is, I know I mentioned that we're not talking about anything office related, but that is when it comes to sort of like the furniture around here. I do have operating expenses just to make sure my business is running, and these are all of my expenses. I do have a couple of new ones, so I did make a note that there are 3 new ones. My total for my small business expenses is $2,504.85. And then the final section that I typically like to talk about is my variable expenses. So the categories in this section will vary depending on the person. So I have the typical ones like dining out, groceries, home, but there's things like snowboarding and personal care and shopping and treat yourself that some people might not have in their budgets. Really dependent on you and the things that you like to spend your money on. I feel really good about what I spent my money on this month. As I mentioned, a lot of my expenses was to do with my office and the furniture and all of that, and of course travel. But in terms of like my day-to-day spending, I stuck to my budget pretty well. I think I'm over by $11. I did do a little bit of shopping, so I budgeted $0 for shopping because I really wanted to not spend that much on myself this month, knowing that I was going into March with a new office. So I spent $160. I think I bought some stuff at Lululemon. That's really my big splurge for the month, but for the most part, we stuck to the budget. So my total for March in terms of my variable expenses is $866.18. And then just at the bottom here, I do have a line item list of all of the things that I spent my money on, which is just another thing that you guys can do if you want to. But I'm loving this workspace because it's literally everything that I want to see for myself, whether it's personal, small business, variable or fixed expenses, my income, my savings, my investments, like everything is in this one workspace. So yeah, that is just a snapshot of March. I feel really happy about how the month has gone. Okay, just took a moment to plan out my April budget, and I'm feeling really good about this month because I do get a corporate bonus, and I will tell you how I'm gonna be spending that bonus. I also talked about it in my most recent video, so if you watched that, you would already know. Bonus season is always exciting, and it is something that I look forward to because, I mean, it's a lot of money, right? It's a big lump sum of money, and in the past, I really spent it on like material goods. And not that that is bad, but that was just kind of what I prioritized at that time. This year, it's really interesting because I'm not spending it on material goods. I'm actually spending it on something that I want to continue to grow. So I'm really investing in myself with my bonus this year, and I'm very happy about that. It's exciting that I get a bonus, but it's just really interesting like how my perspective has shifted over the last couple years. I would always gift myself a fun little handbag. Last year, I used the money to actually buy myself a Cartier watch. I was honestly in just a very different mind space, and now I'm excited to be spending that money on myself, my office, my business, and just continuing to grow it. Without further ado, let's look at my April budget and see how much money I get paid in my bonus this year. Welcome to my April xtiles workspace. As you can see, it looks very similar to March. All I did was I duplicated this template that I created because I really liked how I organized everything, and I wanted to keep all of the same color scheme. So before we get into my income, I do want to talk about the notes section on the right-hand side. As I mentioned, I love having this as kind of a brain dump section. These are all of the things that are upcoming for myself this month. It is my partner's birthday in the beginning of April, so I did book a Victoria weekend for us. Victoria is an island in British Columbia. I've personally never been, even though I've lived here for 6 years. My partner has never been either, so it'll be both of our first times just checking out the area. So yeah, I'm expecting some expenses that will come from that weekend. I'm also getting him a gift. I already did tell him what I was gonna get him, but it is gonna be around $650. And then the other birthday that I have this month is my brother's birthday, is at the end of April, so I have some time. I budgeted around $150 for him. And then the last thing is I noted down my corporate bonus here, which you can see is $15,000. We'll talk more about that when we get into the income. And the reason why I put TBD is I'm still trying to figure out how I kind of want to split my bonus to the different savings accounts. So those are all the things that I have going on this month. I'm really excited to get into April. So in terms of my income, we have 2 corporate paychecks. I typically budget around $2,500 each paycheck. The next thing I want to talk about is my bonus. I already kind of touched on this, but I am expecting $15,000 for my bonus this year. This is the number post-tax. I have had many years where I was given the pre-tax number and was expecting in my mind to get that number deposited in my bank account, but taxes take, I want to say, like 50% of your bonus, which is crazy, but it's just something that happens and you just have to deal with it. So I've learned over the last couple years to maybe take off like 50%. When I hear the pre-tax number, I'll just in my mind cut out 50% and know that I'll only get 50% of that. This year I'm expecting around $15,000. That could be a little bit more or a little bit less. We'll find out on April 12th. And then the last income stream I have is YouTube. As always, I don't put anything in the expected section here. Anything I get from YouTube is just honestly a blessing. I really appreciate you guys for watching these videos. This would not be possible without you. So thank you so much. For my expected income this month, I'm expecting around $20,000, and that is inclusive of my bonus. The next section I want to talk about is my savings. Nothing new for my savings. It's always just my emergency fund, which always gets $100 bi-weekly. I did put a section where I want to add from my bonus. I don't know how much that amount will be yet, and that is the same for my investments. I put down $300 bi-weekly, but if I have any sort of leftover from my bonus, I will add either to my savings or into my investments, or a little bit in both. So that's why I have that section in here, but I don't have a specific number yet because I want to just think more about how I want to allocate the funds, because if you watch my previous video, you would know my credit card is really high and I need to pay that off with my bonus. So that is why it's still a little bit TBD. Okay, and then next is my personal fixed bills. So nothing too crazy has changed here. It's all of the same subscriptions, my mortgage, my insurance, it's all the same. And the total for that is $2,636.75. And that is the same for my small business fixed expenses. You can see here, I do have a new expense. We are partnering with an agency who is doing a photo shoot in New York, and I am going to be one of the brands doing a photo shoot there. So I'm really excited about that. They're going to shoot content for my brand, and that is $925. That also means that I probably won't have money for a sponsored video this month, which is totally fine. I'm just kind of allocating the budget in a different way. The total for my small business fixed expenses is $2,806.40. And finally, we get into my variable expenses. So I did make some changes here just based off of what I've already mentioned. I added $25 into my alcohol and drink section. I also added $100 into my dining out section, and I added $700 for my gifts because I am going to be gifting to my partner and my brother this month. And then everything else has remained the same. I took out snowboarding because it is almost springtime, and honestly it wasn't the best snowboard year this year, which sucks for people who have a season's pass like me, but I don't think I'm going to be spending on snowboarding this month at all, so I did mark that to 0. And yeah, everything else has remained the same. My total for my variable expenses this month is $1,630. That is it. That is my April financial reset. There was just so much going on in the month of March, and I'm so excited for this upcoming month of April and for the weather to get nicer. And thank you again to xtiles for sponsoring this video. I will have a link for you guys to check out xtiles down below, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, you guys.